Have you ever looked at someone in their 70s or 80s, moving with the grace and energy of someone decades younger, and wondered what's their secret? Is it just luck, or is there something more tangible, something we can actually see and measure, that separates those who merely age from those who truly thrive? For decades, we've been obsessed with the biomarkers of disease: cholesterol numbers, blood pressure readings, blood sugar levels. And while those are critically important, they're often about what's going wrong or what might go wrong. But what if we shifted the lens? What if we stopped just looking for signs of decay and started looking for signs of durability? Today, I want to talk about a fascinating idea. It's the concept that your body, right now, is quietly broadcasting signals about your long-term future. These aren't vague promises from an anti-aging cream. These are concrete, physical, almost mechanical signs that geriatricians and longevity researchers have identified as powerful predictors of not just living longer, but living well longer. The magic age where these signals become profoundly telling seems to be around 50. It's a checkpoint. By 50, the frivolities of youth have settled, and our lifelong habits, good and bad, have begun to etch themselves into our physical machinery, and the body starts to reveal its blueprint. So, I put this question to you right at the start. When you look at your parents or your older family members, which one of them moves like they're going to see 90? Is it a certain lightness in their step, a steadiness in their hand, a certain robustness? I'd love you to think about that and share your observation in the comments below. That real-world observation is where the science actually begins. Because science is now confirming what our intuition might already tell us. There are specific, simple physical tests, things you can do in your living room, that are astonishingly accurate crystal balls. They don't require a full-body MRI or a genetic panel. They assess the integrated system that is you, your muscles, your nerves, your brain, your balance, all working in concert. And the research is clear. If you're scoring well on these at 50, your odds of hitting 90 and hitting it with vitality skyrocket. Let's dive into these 5 body signs. Think of this not as a medical diagnosis, but as a personal performance review for the most important project you'll ever work on, your future self. Body sign number 1, the power in your hand, grip strength. Let's start with something seemingly mundane, your handshake. It turns out, the strength of your grip is about far more than your ability to open a stubborn jar of pickles. Oh, that's a nice bonus. It is, in the words of researchers, a super biomarker. Multiple massive, long-term studies, like the famous prospective urban-rural epidemiology, PURE, study following over 140,000 people across 17 countries, have reached a startling conclusion. Grip strength is a better predictor of your risk of early death from any cause than even your blood pressure. Let me repeat that. Squeezing a device, called a dynamometer, told researchers more about a person's mortality risk than measuring the force of their blood against their artery walls. Why on earth is that? Your grip isn't an isolated muscle. It's the end point of chain. It reflects the overall health and integrity of your muscular system, which is your body's largest protein reservoir and metabolic engine. Strong grip correlates with strong legs, a strong core, and a robust skeletal frame. It signals good overall nutrition, particularly adequate protein intake. Crucially, it's a proxy for your nervous system's ability to recruit muscle fibers efficiently. As we age, we lose muscle mass and neuromuscular connection, a process called sarcopenia. A strong grip at 50 suggests you're resisting that decline vigorously. But it goes deeper. Weak grip strength has been strongly linked to higher risks of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. The theory is that it reflects something called biological age. The systems that keep your muscles strong, hormones, inflammation control, nerve health, circulation, are the same systems that keep your heart and brain healthy. If those systems are wearing out, it shows in your weakening grasp. So, the test is simple. Next time you're at a gym or a physiotherapist, ask to use a hand dynamometer. For a man around 50, a grip strength below about 90 to 100 pounds, 40 to 45 kilograms, starts to raise flags. For a woman, it's below about 60 pounds, 27 kilograms. But you don't strictly need the device. Can you carry 2 heavy grocery bags from the car to the kitchen without stopping? Can you do several solid push-ups, which requires significant grip and upper body stability? These are real-world proxies. If you can, your body is giving you a green light. Body sign number 2, the speed in your step, walking pace. Here's a directive that sounds almost too simple. Pick up the pace. How fast you walk, your so-called gait speed, is another staggering predictor of longevity. A seminal analysis published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that walking speed was as strongly associated with survival as having a complex chronic disease profile. In essence, your body chooses its walking speed based on its total systemic health. Think about what's required for a brisk, purposeful walk. It's not just leg strength. It requires cardiovascular fitness. Your heart and lungs need to supply oxygen efficiently. Musculoskeletal health. Strong bones, stable joints, and flexible tendons. Neurological function. Your brain must coordinate balance, proprioception, knowing where your body is in space, and motor control. Sensory health. You need good vision and inner ear balance to navigate safely. Mental drive. A faster pace often correlates with higher motivation and lower depression. A slow walking pace at 50 suggests that one or more of these systems is compromised, even if no single disease has been diagnosed. It's an integrated failure warning light. Studies show that every 0.1 meter per second increase in gait speed, that's about 0.2 miles per hour, is associated with about a 12% reduction in mortality risk. The target for a good prognosis? A walking pace of about 1.0 meters per second or 2.2 miles per hour, which is a brisk, I'm late for an appointment walk. If you can comfortably sustain that pace for 10 to 15 minutes at 50, you're in a very good zone. Body sign number 3, the poetry of motion, getting up and down, the sit-rise test. This might be the most elegant and telling test of them all. It's called the Sitting-Rising Test, SRT, and it was popularized by Brazilian researcher Dr. Claudio Gil Urho. The test is brilliantly simple. From a standing position, you lower yourself to sit cross-legged on the floor, and then you stand back up without using your hands, knees, or arms for support. You start with a perfect score of 10. You lose a point every time you use a hand, knee, or forearm for support, and you lose half a point for a loss of balance or shaky movement. Dr. Urho's study, published in the European Journal of Cardiology, followed over 2,000 adults and found something remarkable. Those who scored low, 0 to 3, had a 5 to 6 times higher risk of dying over the study period compared to those who scored high, 8 to 10. Every single point increase in the score conferred a 21% improvement in survival. Why is this so powerful? Because it assesses the holy trinity of functional fitness: lower body strength, flexibility, and dynamic balance. All 3 are non-negotiable for independent living. The ability to get down to and up from the floor is fundamental. It's how you pick something up, play with grandkids, or get up after a fall. It requires coordinated power from your quads, glutes, and core, along with flexibility in your hips, knees, and ankles. A high score at 50 tells you that your body's fundamental movement software is still brilliantly intact. It predicts not just survival, but autonomy. Body sign number 4, the silent symphony, your sense of balance. Close your eyes. Now stand on one leg. How long can you hold it? This isn't a party trick. It's a direct line into the health of your brain, your inner ear vestibular system, your nerves, and your muscles. It's a test of your body's silent, unconscious symphony of stability. Balance begins to decline in our 30s, but by 50, the divergence is clear. The inability to stand on one leg for at least 20 seconds with eyes open, and preferably closer to 30, is a red flag. A landmark study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine even suggested that failure to pass this test in midlife was linked to a higher risk of accelerated brain aging and small blood vessel damage. Good balance means your cerebellum, the brain's balance center, is firing perfectly. Your proprioceptive nerves in your ankles and legs are sending accurate signals, and your muscles are making micro corrections in milliseconds. This complex system is what prevents falls. And falls are not just accidents for older adults. They are often the catastrophic event that begins a downward spiral. A broken hip, loss of confidence, reduced activity, isolation, and decline. Exceptional balance at 50 is your body's best insurance policy against that future. It says your neural wiring is still pristine. Body sign number 5, the power plant, your midlife muscle and body composition. This last sign is less about a single test and more about a composite picture. What is your body made of at 50? Are you skinny fat, normal weight but low muscle, high fat, or are you carrying a good amount of lean muscle mass? The paradigm has shifted. It's no longer just about weight or body mass index, BMI. A person with a normal BMI but low muscle mass, a condition called sarcopenic obesity, could be at higher metabolic risk than a heavier person with more muscle. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It's a sink for blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity. It produces beneficial myokines, hormone-like substances that fight inflammation. It supports your joints and bones. Having a solid foundation of muscle at 50 is like having a robust pension fund. It's the reserve you will draw from in the decades to come as natural decline sets in. How do you assess this? It's not just about looking bulky. Can you, as a man, do at least 10 to 15 good bodyweight squats? As a woman, can you hold a plank for 45 to 60 seconds? Can you lift and place a moderately heavy suitcase in an overhead bin? These functional tasks require a strength-to-weight ratio that speaks directly to your muscle health. Furthermore, will you carry fat matters immensely. A thickening waistline, an apple shape, is a sign of visceral fat, the inflammatory, dangerous fat that wraps around your organs and secretes harmful chemicals. A waist circumference of more than 40 inches for men and 35 inches for women at 50 is a strong predictor of future heart disease and diabetes, independent of overall weight. So, the ideal sign is a combination of preserved muscle and a managed waistline. Bringing it all together, the philosophy of the durable body. Now, you might be listening to this and feeling either reassured or a bit anxious. But here's the crucial, empowering point. These signs are not just fate. They are not purely genetic senses. They're the output, and the input, that's almost entirely under your control. These 5 signs are the report card for a lifetime of inputs: nutrition, resistance training, cardiovascular activity, balance work, and sleep. They tell you if your lifestyle is building a durable body or a fragile one. The beautiful, hopeful science is that it is never too late to change the output by changing the input. You can improve your grip strength with simple hand exercises and pulling motions, rows, deadlifts. You can increase your walking pace with consistent cardio. You can practice the sit-rise movement daily, literally teaching your body the pattern. You can train your balance by standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. You can build and preserve muscle through weight training, which is arguably the most potent anti-aging medicine on the planet. So, if you're 50 or approaching it, or even past it, don't see this as a verdict. See it as an incredibly valuable audit. Test yourself. Be honest. Were you strong? Were you vulnerable? And then invest accordingly. Because living to 90 isn't the real goal, is it? The real goal is arriving at 90 having lived every one of those years. Arriving with the ability to travel, to play, to contribute, to embrace your family, to get up off the floor under your own power. That's the prize. And your body, at 50, is already telling you if you're on track to claim it. So, I'll end with the question I asked at the beginning, but now framed for you personally. Looking at these 5 signs, your grip, your walk, your rise, your balance, your strength, which one do you feel is your greatest asset for a long life right now? And which one is whispering that it needs your attention? Share your honest self-assessment in the comments. Let's make this a conversation about building durability one strong sign at a time.